Okay, officially recorded for YouTube. Okay, yeah, I got the volume turned up. I was like, do I got the volume turned up? I can't hear. The music's just kind of quiet. Alrighty. That's right. Last time we talked to Tominari and Tojo. I'm not gonna do, like, every single selection. I'm just doing every single ending. So my recommendation is getting the game and playing it yourself if you want to see what happens if you talk to Tojo before you talk to Tominari. Although, I'm pretty sure it'll just be some jealousy on Tominari's part. Oh, well. Let's see. Alright, successfully talked with Tominari and Tojo. Gee! I'm glad to make your acquaintance too, Kamame. I did feel a little bad when I thought about Tojo, though. If I go show him Kamame every now and then, he definitely won't worry so much. Now then, let's go meet the other Oniwanaban. I can talk. From here, the entertainment district should be closest. So that will be Kenji and Otaro. I immediately made my way to the entertainment district. This place is as lively as ever. I could definitely say it could be as rowdy as a festival all year long. Where should I go first? Ready? I guess we're starting theater house, so that would be Kenji. This is where Kenji is working. He should be around here somewhere. With that in mind, I quietly peeked into the theater house. But, there's no one here. Could it be their day off? In that case, where's Kenji? I wonder if he's doing work for the Oniwaban. On reaching that conclusion, I turned on my heel and prepared to leave, when suddenly... I sound from the back of the theater house. Straightened my eyes and stared into the back. It seemed like someone was sweeping over there. I could only see their back, so I could tell it was that they were a man. Are they someone tasked with the maintenance here? They might know where Kenji is. Excuse me. There's something I want to ask you. Yes, what is it? I can't do his voice, by the way. Kenji! To my surprise, the person was Kenji himself. I was dumbfounded at that unexpected turn of events. It's you. What's with that dumb expression on your face? Nah, it's nothing. I just didn't think an actor like yourself would be cleaning. I'm also a member of the... I'm not sure what this word is. Kikuria? Of course I'd clean. That's just basically the group that they are. This doesn't have to make sense. Now then, what's your purpose for coming here? Did you come here to be teased again? No, sir. No! I just wanted to ask you about assignments in the entertainment district. Now I think about it, they did say you were deciding your assignment. I was saying that Kenji blankly stared outside of the theater house. There were so many people walking about outside. It was hard to believe the theater house could be so quiet. Perhaps that knowing that it was a day off, some townsfolk were doing what I did earlier and peeking inside. Come to the back. People might hear us if we talk here. Yes. Cheap. No. Isn't that Kunitaka Sparrow? You have to be quiet too, darling. Cheap, cheap. I firmly held onto my bag so that Kamame wouldn't fall off of it, and lightly running followed after Kenji. Over here should be fine. Kenji guided me to the dressing room where we first exchanged greetings. But unlike when I came here the last time, no one was around except for me and Kenji. I'm the only one working today, so we can have a leisurely chat here. Have a seat. Yeah. Thank you. After Kenji made me sit in the room, he even prepared tea for me. Then, while holding his own cup of tea, he sat in front of me without making a sound. Now then, what is it you want to hear about? I should ask questions that will help me learn about missions in the entertainment district, and not just Kenji himself. And in that case, I heard that a lot more blight fall up here in the entertainment district compared to other areas, so it's difficult to work in. If that's the case, why are you working in the entertainment district? Since I come all the way here, I wanted to work properly as Oniwaban. I didn't want to hold anyone back. I needed some special talent to work in the entertainment district, and I wanted to know in advance. Isn't it obvious? It's because I have the aptitude for it. Dude, I don't tell her nothing. Aptitude? You heard that vessel's origin is a tool, yes. In my case, the origin of the tool... The owner... I can read. In my case, the owner of the tool was someone deeply involved in matters of entertainment. So, I've inherited those traits. As the district is filled with entertainers, I'm perfectly suited for working here. Wouldn't you agree? Right. I'm also curious about the owner of the tool. Tominari warned me against that, so I want to ask. Even if you have the aptitude, isn't it difficult to work as a kabuki actor while also doing missions for the Oniwaban? How are you finding the time? In my case, it's the opposite. If I do work as an actor, I naturally end up filling my missions as well. Firstly, industry connections and shady gossip go hand in hand. I don't even have to go looking for those. Secondly, by staying on stage, I can serve many people at once. It gives me a fantastic view of what the audience is doing. Since Blightfall are born from human malice, predicting a Blightfall source origin with all that information is like child's play. No? Truly, a method only a kabuki actor could come up with? Genji's answer is precisely what I wanted to know. But because of that, one problem became quite clear. But it could be difficult for me to work in the entertainment district since I have no experience in entertainment. Even if I started that sort of training now, I have no idea when it could be useful. What are you talking about? You have the power of the Hakuseki clan, don't you? Heh. If you can't perform, then there are other ways to contribute. It'd be foolish of you to not even consider that fact. I'm sorry. It's fine. Tell you what, next time there's a performance, why don't you come onto the stage and hide in the background? Boy, quit teasing her. That way you'd be able to easily see Anya's threads, wouldn't you? What? On the stage? His plan was solid, but I couldn't so easily accept Kenji's suggestion. I mean, even if I'm hiding in the back, if I could see them, doesn't that mean I'd be clearly visible from the audience? If I did that, I could disturb the play. Worst case scenario, I could get banned. No, wait, Kenji came up with the idea, so it'd be rude not to at least try it. Before that, how in the world are we going to explain this to the theater house members? Why are you taking this so seriously? Just so you know, I was joking. Huh? Women aren't even allowed to be on stage in kabuki plays. Is that so? I figured that'd be common sense, that no thing so trivial. You must be quite the dunce. Boy? Yeah. It seems I was completely played for a fool. Kenji looked on, seemingly satisfied at my frustration. He then drank all of his tea in one swig. Now then, since we're done with our tea, it's about time we clean up. Yep. The second Kenji put strength into his fingers, the cup broke with a clatter. There's his embarrassing thing. He breaks everything all the darn time. My. Such a fragile cup to break from just being held. I'll have to clean again. From just being held. Yes, is there a problem with that? No, nothing at all. Normally a cup wouldn't break just from someone holding it, right? It didn't seem like it had any cracks in it either. Maybe he's really strong. It could have been that he was cleaning earlier because he broke something. But a cup breaking, that would be some insane strength. Chief. Poor little Kamame's even scared. Even with those questions in my mind, I could never give voice to them. After giving Kenji my thanks, I ended up leaving the theater house. Alright, that's one person I've talked with. To meet with the other person, where should I go? Just follow the street. Anyway, I should try walking down this path a little more. It seems like this is the road with the most people. Might run into someone along the way. Come on, May, make sure you don't fall off. Actually, since this is dangerous on my shoulder, maybe you should hide in my belongings? Cheap! After those preparations, I continued walking leisurely down the main street of the entertainment district. Of course, to avoid getting targeted by thieves, I held my belongings firmly with both hands. Now that I see it, I can understand why the entertainment district has the most Blightfall. I mean, no matter how you look at it, this level of activity is not normal. But without the entertainment district, no one would be able to vent their frustrations from the Blightfall attacks. When you think about it that way, it seems difficult to balance preventing the appearance of Blightfall with preserving the citizens' peace of mind. special is basket weaving. You can see that famous artist at work. Entry fee is a mere 32 mon. You over there, come take a look. We got some amazing stuff. As I thought about the Blightfall, I encountered Otaro, who was calling in customers in a loud voice. Oh, good. I found him. He's working right now. Is that right to talk to him? I couldn't do anything but observe from afar while holding on to my belongings and Kamame. And then... Suzuno? And Otaro happened to turn around. We made direct eye contact. You noticed me. Ah, Otaro, What are you doing here? Are you coming to see me? If you did, I'm super happy. Boy, you lying. Ah. But before I could say anything, Otaro ran towards me. I felt surprised as well, a little taken off guard by just how blatantly happy he seemed. Did you finish talking with everyone? Wait, did you get assigned to this entertainment district? No, not yet. I thought I'd decide after talking with everyone. You're taking things pretty seriously. In that case, work with me. We'd have so much fun if you came to work here. I know lots of good restaurants, stores where you can go. I'll show them to you. Thank you, but I really want to think it through before I decide. Could you give me some more time? I see. I'm sorry. I got a bit overexcited because you came here. Upon my rejection, Otaro lowered his head dejectedly and looked sad. He's easy to read. Way too easy to read. Yes, if I had to compare him to something, it'd be... I don't know, you're a little like a dog. Where'd that come from? A dog? How so? Wait a second. I'll prove it to you. I shifted my belongings to one hand so I wouldn't drop Kamame and extended my other hand towards Otaro. Otaro? What? Shake. Wolf? Then Otaro, even while tilting his head to the side, gently placed his hand upon mine. That action was undoubtedly that of a dog. See? I knew it. Otaro, the obedient part of you is super dog-like. Really? Yeah, you're so cute. As I nodded fiercely, Otaro lowered his head with a complicated expression on his face. Hey, that's not something a guy should be happy about, right? I mean, I guess you're complimenting me? Ah, right. Boys don't really get happy when people call them cute. Say the wrong thing. Like considering how I'd been constantly on edge since this morning, this kind of casual interaction was a relief. Now, whatever. Back to the topic at hand. If I tell you about the entertainment district, then that means you might come here, right? Yes, there's definitely a possibility. Cool. Any questions? Ask me anything. That suggestion is super helpful. I'll start with the basics. Okay. What do you normally do on missions? Basically, I collect information while calling in customers, like I was doing just now. To the public, I make a living by working as a barker for a show tent. Other than that, I also verify the information that Kenji gathers. So if I were assigned to the entertainment district, I'd also have a cover job like you and Kenji. Well, who knows? You're a complete amateur, so unless we're really dire, I don't think you'll be asked to do anything like this. Your main job will probably be patrolling while using your ability to see threads or something. I see. Hey, can I ask the next question? Yeah, sure. Zuno, before you came to Edo, you're living in the mountains, right? What was your life like? Well... And so I explained everything to Otaro. How I'd been living in a rundown village by myself ever since father died 3 years ago. But how I'd been ostracized by the people from the village and the foothills. That's horrible. After I finished, Otaro was incredibly angry to an almost obvious degree. I can't believe they would do that to you just because you have a slightly different power. And at least you're able to get away from those guys. From now on, we'll have your back. So if something's up, you always tell us. Thank you. I didn't think that Otaro would be so empathetic towards me, so I was taken aback. I know his heart's been sealed away, but it almost seems like a lie. I just can't think of the vessels as tools. By the way, what's your mother up to? You didn't mention anything about her in your story. My mother died when I was young. I don't remember her very well. Wait, sorry, was I not supposed to ask? I'm pretty bad at gauging things like that. No, it's fine. Hey, Odora, what are you slacking off for? The customers aren't coming in at all. Ah, shoot! You heard an angry yell from the show tent. It seemed he was Odora's boss. I'm sorry. I was talking to you while you're at work. No, it's totally fine. I'm sorry, I wasn't able to tell you that much about the entertainment district. But you should consider it, even just a little bit. You're a really cool person. I'm super interested to get to know you. See ya! With those parting words, Odoro dashed off. Odoro is really straightforward in a way that's different from Tominari. The realization hit home as I watched him leave. I've talked to both Kenji and Odoro. That means last place is Castletown. Let's go talk with Kuga and Yoichi. Come on, mate. You should stay there just in case. It'd be awful if you got lost. Cheat! After walking for a little bit, I finally arrived at my final destination. This place is really fantastic. The amazement I felt when I first came to Edo is coming back. I can't believe it was only yesterday. I felt deeply moved by the sights, breathing a sigh of appreciation. Now then, where should I look first? I'm gonna start with the stores. Maybe I should go somewhere I haven't gone to before? Upon deciding that, I began walking down a path lined with stores. When I look around, there sure are a lot of different stores. A tailor, a shoe store, a toy store. Is that person over there? Yoichi, hello! Ugh. Saw a familiar figure from behind and called out to them. Oh, he made a blatantly irritated face at me. I won't let that make me feel bad. I won't feel bad. Yoichi, are you in the middle of a mission right now? You're carrying so many things. I was just buying things for work. This has nothing to do with a mission. Ah, is this for your cover job? Yes. Hearing that, I remember Kenji and Otaro. Just like them, it was probably common for Oniwaban to have a public persona and lifestyle. So, what kind of job do you have, Yoichi? Liquor store. Liquor. Do you make it, or do you sell it? Both. I see. It seems like it's a lot of work, with lots of things to do. Not really. The conversation ended in an instant. Holding a conversation was a lot easier when everyone else was around. Am I maybe not welcome? I'm sorry for talking to you when you're on the job. You must be busy. Wow, self-awareness. So impressive. Anyway, why are you talking so politely? We're basically the same age. If you talk to me like that, we're going to stand out. Can you stop? What? You're also 19 years old? What are you talking about? I'm a vessel. That'd be impossible. I'm talking about our physical appearances. I understand. You're doing it again. Sorry, Yoichi. Mm-hmm. Though he nodded at me, Yoichi still looked like he was in a bad mood. It seemed he was in a manner of speaking, a rather honest person. What? Stop staring at me. Sorry, I was just thinking that you're pretty expressive. No words. You're a vessel, right? Your heart's sealed away, but the face just kind of felt out of place. Nah, I was simply reacting based on your words and expression. Really? Then even when we're talking normally, you're thinking about all sorts of different stuff? That's right. Vessels who are nice to you know you want them to be nice, so they react accordingly. In contrast, I know that if I use a straight irritated attitude, I can go back to work faster. It's nothing to do with my mood. I see. I can understand the logic behind it. However, hearing it anew made me feel an indescribable emotion. Still, that's pretty similar to a human. Nah, how? I mean, humans fake laugh when they're not happy, or fake cry too. When you think about it that way, vessels are no different than humans aside from the fact that I can't see your threads. Cheep! At that moment, Kamame, who should have been hiding in my belongings, leapt out. Kamame jumped into the air and landed right on top of Yoichi's head. Ugh. Kamami, what are you? She can't be thinking of making those fast movements like she did with Tojo. Cheep, 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 cheep. Huh. Amy extended my arms to get her back, but I noticed something strange. Kamami was hopping around here and there, Yuichi said, but she was holding back quite a bit. On top of that, she was even rubbing her forehead against Yoichi like she had with me. In other words, Kamami was showing affection. Yoichi, too, was, for some reason, accepting Kamami's behavior, like nothing was wrong. Yoichi, you seem perfectly fine with this. I'm used to it. This usually happens when I meet an animal. It'll get satisfied after a while, so it's easier to let it do what it wants. I can see that. This is Tojo's sparrow, right? This happens all the time, so it's not a big deal. Always? Then you're Kamame's favorite? Don't know. Don't care. Jeep jeep! He said it with such finality, but judging by how Kamame was still showering him with affection, it was pretty obvious. He seems cold, but is he really that mean of a person? Mother used to tell me that animals are attracted to kind people. Chirp! Kamame, welcome back. Satisfied, and I'm heading off. Right, thanks. Yoichi then walked off without a single glance in my direction. Alright, that's one person I've talked with. To meet with the other person, where should I go next? Row house. If I'm going to look for someone, I should go visit the row houses. On deciding that, continued walking down the street. There are children playing. Everyone seems to be having fun. And in the back, the mothers are socializing. I wonder if they're in the middle of doing housework. Compared to the other districts, it really feels like people are living here. There seems to be a temple school and a dojo too. Temple school is basically a learning place for things that can't be taught at home. That's probably why it feels more comfortable here than in other districts. There's a lot of people gathering over there too. Let's go check it out. What are you doing here? Just as I turned around, someone lightly tapped me on the shoulder. Startled, I looked up and saw Kuga standing there. Kuga, thank goodness I found you. But you were looking for me. Weren't you deciding on your assignment with the captains? Look here, motionless turd. Well, yes, but I want to talk with the members of the Oniwaban before deciding. What were you doing just now, Takuga? Patrol, of course. My cover job is working as a castle watchman. Castle watchman? A castle watchman is typically a samurai who defends the castle, and I looked it up. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Daimo. But if I'm wrong, oh well. And Daimo mansions, but I'm the exception, and I'm in charge of defending Castletown. It's similar to a patrol officer, but patrol officers have more limits on what they can do. However, as castle watchman, I can get my privilege as a samurai while also freely working in Oniwaban. Wow, that's very convenient. If that's the case, wouldn't it be easier for everyone to operate as castle watchmen? Not necessarily. Unless we have someone close to the townsfolk, we'd be missing a lot of information. At the end of the day, I'm a samurai. It's difficult for me to pry too deeply into the townsfolk's lives. This is especially the case in places like the entertainment district. That's why we need people in jobs other than samurai. I see. It's true, talking to a samurai is nerve-wracking, so it would probably be difficult to engage in light conversation. Truth be told, I also tensed up when I first met Tominari. But there's one advantage to remaining a samurai even in public. What is it? I can always carry a sword. She's so slow. While saying that, Kuga placed his hand on the two swords at his waist. Seriously, a wakizashi and a tachi. Whatever. The wakizashi is one thing. Carrying a tachi was only allowed for samurai and those of higher standing. The vessels could not use the snow sacrament without a sword. And as I have one, I could deal with Blightfall immediately. Aside from me, I assume you saw the two from Samurai Town also that carried swords as samurai. So how do the other Oni-Waban fight when the Blightfall appear? If they possess a wakizashi, then they deal with it as such. If they are in a situation where they lack even that, then they use the nearby helper's sword to fight. So in order for our assignments to run smoothly, we need both samurai and civilians. So that's how it is. In my conversation with Kuga, I felt my understanding of the Oni-Waban deepened again. And I still have one particular question. So if I officially join Oni-Waban, does that mean I should also be training? Why would you? So there's no need for me to fight, but I think I might be a hindrance if I don't train. Oh, that's what you mean. What do you mean? There's no need to worry. I'll always protect you. It's not what she means. What? Those words were so unexpected I could have easily been mistaken as a confession of love. It was the first time a man had ever said something like that to me, and my heart beat faster. But then, you're only Hakuseki, aren't you? Cannot lose someone as important as you. What's wrong? Why are you making such a strange face? No, it's nothing. That gave me a shock. Of course, that's the reason. I knew it would be, but that was a little bit embarrassing. After talking for a little bit with Kuga, we parted ways. After successfully meeting with Yoichi and Kuga, I started walking towards the Oni-Waban base. It's already this late. I should hurry back. Edo has so many streets that look the same. I'm not sure which to take. Was it this one? Wah! Yeah! Oh no, I wasn't paying attention. I crashed into someone. I apologize. Are you alright? No, it's my fault for spacing out. I'm sorry for spacing out. I can't read. The person I crashed into head first appeared to be a woman. She stumbled slightly, but looked at me with a steady gaze. Huh? But as soon as my eyes met hers, the woman appeared shocked. In that same moment, I also felt something like nostalgia spraying from the bottom of my chest. Could she be Susanoo? Oh, it really is you, Susanoo. It's been so long. The woman hugged me tightly with tears in her eyes. Her threads, which represented shock and bewilderment at first, gradually turned into a loving pink. Taken aback by her sudden actions, I could only stand there in surprise. I never thought you'd grow so big. You're practically a young lady. You were still a child the last time I saw you. Your hair roll is right where your bangs are. Right. You have your hair roll here. It was always so difficult to comb your hair for you. She clearly knew information that only I should know. In that instant, I prayed the woman off of me. Of course, not to make her go away, but to get a good look at her face from the front. Are you Miharu? That's right. You finally realized it's me. You turned me into a form folk when I was just a simple obi cord. You remember this obi cord, don't you? That's... As soon as I saw the obi cord Miharu had, a vivid scene played in the back of my mind. In the past, I broke the village rule and turned my favorite obi cord into a form folk. Renanori, could you come here next? I want to check the soil conditions. Alright, I'm coming. I knew there was something different about you when you saved the village's crops. If you weren't around, Mune, I wouldn't even know how to plow my own fields. That's an overstatement, only doing what anyone else would. Oh, come now, don't be so modest. At this time, Father was still healthy and alive. Father was well liked by the people of the village and was always the center of attention. Now I thought about it, they still gave me supplies, even when I was ostracized because Father had contributed so much to the village. I always secretly watched from inside the house, sulkily playing with my obi cord. Father sure is popular. I wish I could become like him. But all my friends hate me now because of the threads. Suddenly, bright threads poured out from the obi cord I was playing with. The obi cord fell from my hand and floated gently up in the air, almost as though it being fished up by a thread from the ceiling. At the same time, light began to gather around the obi cord. It morphed and squished like clay, began to take on the form of a human. At first, it turned into a child no bigger than me, then into a mature adult man, and finally... Hello there, little lady. It's so nice to meet you. If it's alright, could you give me a name? The woman smiled cheerfully and handed me a brand new wooden tag. That was the first time I met Miharu. But though it was nice at first, I have to admit it was pretty difficult after that. Since the village forbid my kind, I couldn't just come out and be like, hey there, I'm a foreign folk. In the end, I think we pretended that you were a distant relative of father, right? I'm so sorry about that. No, it's fine. Even if it was only for a little while, I got to live with you as a family. It sure was a surprise when we were found out. I can't believe I accidentally showed my wooden tag. I can still remember the face that the village chief made. His eyes were so wide, I thought they were gonna fly out like this. Saying that, Miharu widened her eyes to their limits. What? Did the village chief really make that face? He sure did. I guess humans really do have bad memories, huh? Sorry. Foreign folk actually have the ability to completely remember the things they hear and see. As in Miharu's case, they can even remember events from years ago as clearly as if they'd happened just yesterday. From their perspective, we humans are the ones afflicted with the curse of oblivion. Or so I've heard. Then have you been living in Edo ever since? Yeah, there are lots of places that work here. Oh, right. I'm currently working at a tea stall in Castletown. You should come by sometime. I'll give you something on the house. Yes, that would be lovely. Let me hear her pursed her lips in a rather dissatisfied manner. Is something wrong? You can call me Mimi like you used to, you know. You don't have to speak so formally. But... is it right for me to call her that? I wasn't able to protect her at all. Oh, honey, I don't know what you're thinking. You worry about things too much. We were able to see each other again after all these years. That's a good thing. We're friends, right? Mimi. That's right. That's how it should be. I nervously tried to word out, and a wide smile appeared on Mimi's face. Just being able to see that expression made my heart feel lighter. Anyway, where's Munenori? If you're here, that means he came to Edo with you, right? About that. I wasn't able to immediately answer Mimi. You asked me that so innocently. 3 years had passed since father died. I still wasn't sure how to answer in times like this. Is he not with you? No, actually he died from an illness. Is that so? It must have been really tough for you. You really did your best. At that, Mimi gently hugged me as if to comfort me. She didn't pry for me details. I could feel a mature sense of kindness from that. If anything happens, you can come to me anytime, okay? I'm your older sister and we're family. Don't you ever forget that. I could do nothing but nod at those warm words. After saying farewell to Mimi, I hurried back to the Oniwaban base. I'm sorry for being late. I've returned. There, Kyoshiro and the others were waiting for me. Of course, I didn't think they were waiting the entire time. They'd likely complete another mission before assembling again. Have you talked with everyone? Yes, everyone seemed busy, but they let me speak with them. Good, that's good. That was the part I was a little worried about. Because he works with Yoichi. He knows who he is. Then you've made your decision, right? Yes. At that question, I remembered the events of the entire day. Though their methods were all different, I had had a conversation with everyone. Now I finally felt like I could think for myself and give a clear answer. I want to work in... Alright, we're going to make a save here so that we don't ever have to do the beginning part again. Boop. Ta-da! And then this gives you, if you're like, oh, I don't remember, it actually shows who's in which district, which is very helpful. And it gives you a quite little summary, but who cares? So, Town of Samurai and Politics, Quiet District of Samurai, and Daimyo Mansions focuses on Tominari and Kunitaka. We're doing Kunitaka Tojo. So. Alright. When's the next time I have to save for him? Let's see. night, not till... Let me make sure. Alrighty, yeah. I don't gotta save till chapter 5, so we're good for a while. I went to work in the samurai town. The day after I answered that, I was called into a meeting with those in charge of Samurai Town. Not only was Kyoshiro there, I also saw familiar faces like Tominari's and Tojo's. I'm sure you've already heard, but she'll also be in charge of Samurai Town from today. You two will support her. Please leave it to us. Welcome to Samurai Town team. Tis know you came. Glad to see you here. Same. I'm looking forward to working with you all. I really do feel comforted when I'm with these two. The Blightfall of Samurai Town are strong. To top it off, there seem to be lots of trouble because of the neighborhood. I had a lot of concerns, but it really is best when you have someone close to you by your side. Also considering that there was work to do, I'd ask Kamame to wait in my room. Now then, let's start with deciding what job Suzuno should be in charge of. Kunitaka and Tominari used their standings as samurai to complete their tasks, but you're a commoner woman. You won't be able to do what they do. Of course. Does that mean I would be helping everyone from behind the scenes? No, quite the opposite. You use that to your advantage to establish a relationship with the daimyo's wives. Many of the wives in Samurai Town have their ears to the ground. If they like you, you should be able to obtain plenty of information. I want you to accomplish a task that the all-male Oniwaban was unable to do until this point. Yes, I understand. Oh, right. Tojo mentioned something like this before. Captain, may I ask a question? In that case, what should Suzuno's civilian identity be? It's unlikely that a wife of a daimyo family would ever meet with a normal village girl, let alone talk to her. Should we play it safe and let her infiltrate some samurai family as a servant? No, a mission where she'd have to stay with the target all day long would be difficult for someone as inexperienced as her. He's right. I'd definitely slip up. That's why we'll have her be part of a branch family related to one of you two. It's just extended family. Branch family? That's right. Due to extenuating circumstances, I've taken in a girl from the branch family. Say that and everyone should be easily convinced. That makes sense. It also allows us to work together without causing any issues. Between Kunitaka and I, who do you prefer? What? That's so sudden. Besides, is this something I should be deciding? This is not only the type of thing that Kyoshiro would decide. However, when I looked over at Kyoshiro, he was simply waiting for my response. He didn't look like he would open his mouth anytime soon. Seemed that he had no particular opinion. Oh dear, what should I base my decision on? As I fussed over the sudden decision that had been forced upon me, Tojo looked into my eyes. In that case, do you want to be part of my branch family? Your branch family? Yeah, since I've been in Oniwaban for a while, they've established all the details of my lineage. There should be no problem with having a branch family. We still haven't created a backstory for Tominari, though. If he suddenly popped in with a branch family, that'd be pretty hard to explain, right? Alright, fine, I'll make one now. Then it wouldn't be a problem if she chooses me. Wait, that's not what I meant. I'm saying that there's no need to spend time now making up a backstory for your whole family. Along with speeding things along and make things easier to choose me. But considering how my backstory hasn't been set, it'd be easier for me to match hers, right? Ugh, that's true, but... I see, the two of them already have things like their family lineage planned out. I can see why it'd be difficult to answer questions about yourself if you didn't plan out a backstory beforehand. However, it didn't seem like the two of them would come to a consensus anytime soon. Piece of dry skin. Drive me crazy. In times like these, it'd probably be best to get direction from the person in charge. Kyoshiro, which do you think is better? The choice won't affect your assignment. Choose as you like. Opposite of helpful. Vessels have perfect memory, same as form folk. No matter what happens in their fake relationship with you, they'll remember it perfectly. I figured as much. Upon hearing that, Tojo gently placed a hand on my shoulder. Hey, Suzuno, if you're having that much trouble deciding, why not just choose me? Not only is my backstory pretty tight, most people around here already know it. That'll take some pressure off of you, too. Not to mention, Tominari isn't the most talkative guy, and where he might not be able to help you properly if you ever accidentally say the wrong thing. I finally got a cute junior like you working under me. Personally, I'd feel more at ease if you're where I could see you. Would you not like that? Well... Tojo looked me straight in the eyes and asked me, looking slightly troubled. Not only that, he also bent down to meet my line of sight, so his face filled up my vision. Thanks to that, I couldn't think properly. What should I do? He's so close. Kunitaka, enough. This time, Tominari pulled my hand and hugged me close to him like he was protecting me. The way you're phrasing that is unfair. You know, if you say it that way, she'll have to choose you. That's... In any case, you're really only worried about me, right? I can handle myself. If she chooses me, I'll complete my assignments just fine, and I'll support her properly too, even without you telling me to. Don't think that I'll stay a novice forever. While tightening the arms he had around me, Tominari clearly asserted his position. Throughout their conversation, I was in a panic. What? What is this? Just what should I do? What's that look? It's just... You don't usually say your opinion, so it was a little surprising is all. That's not true. I don't think so. It's harmless even for you, pal. Anyway, I got your point. So did you let the poor kid go? She's frozen stiff. At that, Tominari looked at me for the first time. I fit snugly into Tominari's arms as he hugged me. Sorry, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And then Tominari let me go as if nothing had happened. That was nerve-wracking. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Meanwhile, Tojo nodded like he'd figured out something. I don't really understand it, but Tominari gets all fired up when she's involved. In which case, I'll back off. I can't do something that would prevent my junior from growing up. Then that means... It means you'll become Tominari's branch family. I'll provide assistance, of course, but make sure you have each other's backs and work hard. Yes, I understand. It's great we managed to decide at least. I couldn't decide between the two of them, so I was relieved that we reached a conclusion that everyone was happy with. And then I'll be happy to work with you, Tominari. I guess we'll be relatives from now on? Yeah, likewise. How exactly do you treat distant relatives? Is it the same as family? Family. If I think about it that way, it's a little bit embarrassing. Yeah, I guess. You don't really get it, do you, Tominari? When I laughed, Tominari also smiled. I was here in Edo to begin with because of my meeting with Tominari. It felt a little strange to be forging a new bond with him. Are you guys forgetting about me? Don't forget that, to me, the two of you will always be my precious mentees. What? It's the truth, isn't it? Don't look at me like that. Hey there, Tominari, buddy. And then Kyoshiro, who had been watching over it all, approached the two with a straight face. Then he slowly placed his hands on Tominari and Tojo's heads, and... Yeah, wait, what are you doing? He started ruffling their hair with all of his might. Aside from myself, Tojo and Tominari were also taken aback by the surprising treatment. But because of that, the grim atmosphere was dispelled in an instant. Is Kyoshiro trying to lighten the mood? I couldn't tear my eyes away from the unexpected action. Then, still ruffling their hair, Kyoshiro turned to look at me. Koshiro's eyes were staring directly at my head. Could he be targeting my head too? I'm fine. Please don't mind me.
Really?
Yes.
Captain, it would be great if you could stop petting us. I can't see in front of me. After that interaction,
we discussed and decided the details of Tominari's backstory and mine. Now the problem was how we were going to use our backstory in order to collect information, but...
Oh yeah, I heard that Lord Tanba's wife Chi was... I'm not sure of pronunciation of her name. I'm just calling her Chi. It's my thing. Chi will be hosting a tea party in 2 days. Tominari and I did receive invitations, but should we take Susanoo with us? We use it to connect with the wives. Right, the Tanbas are a fairly powerful Daimyo family. There's a chance that he'll be chosen as the next councilman. His lordship also favors him.
He must be pretty important then. And councilman would be a direct subordinate of the shogun, right? That would mean he's a pretty powerful person, even in the shogunate. Can someone like me even participate in a tea party hosted by those people?
Well, we call it a tea party, but it's just an open tea ceremony, so I don't think it'll be that formal.
Open air?
An open air tea ceremony is a tea party held outside. You didn't know?
No.
Susanoo, do you not know anything about tea?
I'm sorry. I was raised in a village, so I've never had the chance to...
I see. Well, I guess it's not really something you need to know in order to survive.
Tojo scratched his head at my honest answer, as if he was troubled.
Even if it's an open-air tea ceremony, it won't look good if you don't at least know some basic etiquette. In that case, couldn't we just teach her? We have 2 days. Koshiro, could you adjust the times for today's patrol? This is important to the mission. I'd like to teach her other things as well. You're fine with that, right, Kunitaka? Yeah, I don't really mind. I have no disagreements. Alright, I'll allow it. Apart from the tea ceremony, there are many things you'll need to learn in order to work in Samurai Town. Susanoo, are you also fine with that?
Yes, thank you very much.
There were still 2 days until the tea party, and I would have everything regarding samurai families drilled into me. Now that we decided on a direction to take, we were sitting Seiza style face to face in another room within the base. And no, I don't know what that means. I never looked up what the Seiza style sitting is. I just figure they're sitting with their legs crossed. If I'm wrong, oh well. It seemed that this was where they would teach me about samurai etiquette and the tea ceremony. So, first we'll have you learn the basics of the tea ceremony. Tominari. Alright. Called upon by Tojo, Tominari readjusted his sitting position like he was getting himself ready. First, let me say this. The tea ceremony is much, much easier than what you're imagining. Basically, you just need to copy what the person next to you does. So I don't think there's much need for memorization. As long as you don't forget to show appreciation for everybody and everything, it's fine.
Alright.
Well, that's basically it. Anyway, I'll quickly explain what you need to do first. And first, let's start from the Nijiriguchi. The what now?
The Nijiri...
That's what the small entrance in the tea room is called. It's about as tall as your waist, so you can't enter unless you crouch. So to enter the tea room from here, you have to use your arms to move your body while you're sitting in the siesta posture. When you actually do it, it's like this. Tominari tightly clenched his hands, and as if pushing the tatami with his thumbs, showed how he moved his body forward. I was enthralled by the smooth movement. Susanoo, now you try.
Okay, like this?
Yep, good job. I tried to recreate the action with awkward movements, and Tominari smiled as he nodded at me. Both my movements and my upper body were shaky, but it seemed like he didn't mind those smaller details. But according to our intel, the Tamba family also has a tea room in the great room. Tea rooms like that don't have a Niji-Guchi. Right, then how do you go in? It'd be weird to crawl in when they're normal sliding doors, right? Yeah, so in that case, you have to use another method. Aside from tea parties, there are numerous rules of etiquette for opening sliding doors. It's rude to just open them, so we have to use the Kiza posture first. Kiza is one method of sitting. It's the Sieza posture, but with your toes flexed. While you're in that posture, you call from outside the room. When you enter a drawing room, watch out for any edges or seams on the floor. They'll think you don't have any manners if you step on them. Why is that? The edges of tatami mats often have the family's crest decorating them. To step on that has the same meaning as stepping on a family's pride. Huh, I see. And the method for walking on tatami is... After he taught me that, a question suddenly arose in my mind. Huh, wasn't the tea party 2 days from now an open-air tea ceremony? Or a tea party held outside? Would I need the etiquette he's teaching me right now? So I started thinking about it. It wouldn't leave my mind. For a while, I thought about whether I should point this out to Tominari. Point it out. The little green thingamajiggers are, I'm going to call them Tojo flowers, okay? This means that we've pleased Kunitaka. I really should say something. I'll just memorize my backstory. If I cram any more knowledge, I'll probably just forget it. Upon reaching that conclusion, I opened my mouth. I'm sorry, Tominari. I appreciate you're spending all this time teaching me, but the tea party coming up's open air tea ceremony, right? In that case, I don't think there'll be sliding doors or drawing rooms. At those words, silence permeated the air. For a while, Tominari looked around with a straight face, as if deep in thought. And then... That's true. Poor Tominari. At last, although he phrased his reply as a question, he nodded like he was convinced. It seemed that he understood. I bad. I was also waiting for a good opportunity to point it out, but... no, it's fine. You had your best interests in mind. Just let it slide. Tominari's been like this ever since he joined the Oni Waban. It's hard to tell what he's thinking sometimes. The day he was assigned to Samurai Town was crazy. We were greeting the samurai families, and this guy just waltzes into the tea room. I couldn't do anything at that time, so I played it off like, oh yeah, he's just really likes tea parties. That's why we get invited to tea parties by the wives of Samurai Town. Apparently news about his love for tea spread around. This is so funny. Is that so? Tojo has a really faraway look in his eyes. He must have had to deal with a lot up to this point. So even Tominari had a time when he was first starting out. I don't recall that. Hey, don't lie so blatantly. You're a vessel, of course you remember. Tojo couldn't help but correct Tominari's nonchalant reply with full force. The done is done. If I leave this to Tominari, I don't think we're ever going to finish. So from here, I'll carry on with the explanation. I wanted to teach her. You have no time for this, so put up with it. The only thing you need to remember is how to eat sweets and how to drink tea. As long as you know that, it'll be a piece of cake. Right. First up, the tea sweets. For an open-air tea ceremony, it's common for the snacks to be split up in single portions and handed to you directly. There'll be no need to bring your own kaishi tissue. The point you have to be careful of here is that you need to finish eating your food before your tea. And you'll still be using the kaishi tissue you received, so leave it on top of your lap. Yes, I understand. Here's the important bit. This is when the tea finally gets brought over. When the tea bearer brings the tea over, they should bow to you. First respond to that with a bow. Then support the tea they give you with your hand, and when you place it on your left hand, keep it at around chest height. Tojo explained while pantomiming it out, but I'd never been to a tea ceremony before, and it was difficult for me to imagine it. Like this? I copied him and tried to do the same action, but Tojo made a sour face. Close. I guess it's difficult to understand from just gestures. Hey, is there any teaware here? It'll be easier to understand with the real things. That's true, but I don't keep teaware at the base. And I'll just have to bring some from home.
Sorry to interrupt. How's everyone doing?
And then opening the door so hard it almost flew out of its frame. An unexpected person entered the room.
Mimi?
Who? It's Miharu, you know, one of the poster girls for the tea stall.
Thank you for your patronage. You came the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, you always take good care of us. Both Tojo and Tominari seemed confused by the sudden intruder. Susanoo, do you know her?
Yes, we used to live together. We reunited by chance yesterday. But Mimi, why are you here? This is the Oniwaban's base. Oh no, Mimi isn't a member of the Oniwaban. Well, Mimi have to commit seppuku for the crime of knowing our secret?
So, in case you're not familiar with terms like I am, seppuku is to basically kill yourself on your own sword. It's a Japanese thing doing with samurais. As far as I know, it's not a thing anymore. Don't worry, I called her here. Explain everything as well.
Kyoshiro?
Appeared over at where the voice had come from. There, standing behind Mimi, was Kyoshiro. I was even more confused by the strange pairing.
Then is Mimi also a member of the Oniwaban, or is she a helper?
Is she? That's the first I've heard of it. She's not a member, but she is a helper. We've had her join as of today. Of course, we received permission from Lord Yoshimune. His Oniwaban is full of men. He thought it best to have a woman helper. That's rather sudden. Is there some sort of reason behind this decision? We heard that she's Susanoo's acquaintance. In that case, it would be more convenient if we recruited her into our ranks.
Convenient.
Well, in other words, they considered the possibility you might accidentally let something slip.
Oh, I see.
As someone who almost accidentally let something slip just now, I had no choice but to accept it.
But how did you know that Mimi and I knew each other?
I learned that from Miharu herself, of course.
I sure was surprised to hear Kyoshiro of all people say my beloved Susanoo's name.
You were talking about me? I thought she'd be perfect as your tea ceremony teacher. I didn't intend to make her into a helper, though.
Well, that's that. So if there's trouble, you can count on me. Thank you, Mimi. But I'm sorry for getting you wrapped up in all of this. It's fine, honey. If I can help you even just a little, I'm happy. Is it the tea ceremonies that trouble you? My job is working at a tea stall. I've also studied tea ceremonies. Don't be shy about asking me. Look, I even brought teaware and tea sweets.
Saying that, Mimi lifted up the set of teaware she was holding with ease. Her reliability and deep kindness made me tear up.
That said, I was really surprised when I heard what happened to think Susanoo would work for the shogunate. Yoshiro, you're in charge here, right? If you let her get hurt, I won't stand for it.
But I'll do my best in that regard. We'd like to avoid a situation where we'd end up disposing of such an important asset.
Huh? What did you say?
Didn't you hear? I said we're going to use her effectively as a pawn for the shogunate.
What did you say?
Yoshiro answered her calmly. In that instant, Mimi's face became as wicked as a Hanya mask. So they're like the demon-looking masks that you would generally associate with masked plays. They have like the little horns here,
and they look creepy. She placed the tea where she was holding on the tatami and closed the distance between herself and Kyoshiro instantly. How dare you talk about her that way, treating her just like she's an object? Susanoo may have a special power, but she's still human. I don't know what kind of mission you plan on making her do, but you better treat her nice and proper. That's what we've been doing so far? Based on the way you spoke about her just now, it didn't seem that way. You were completely treating her like some lackey. I didn't say that, but if I said something to offend you, I'll apologize. I'm sorry. Ha! All things considered, you don't look sorry at all. You're always like this. You may say the right things, but you don't mean them at all. Excuse me. Now, I guess the question is, should we stop them or not? She's really angry. Tojo and Tominari whispered to each other, so the two guests went near and quietly watched. Needless to say, Mimi's threads were bright red from anger. I have to mediate. Mimi, I'm fine, so... No! Let me say this. I've disliked his attitude for a long while now. This is the best chance I'm going to get, so I'm going to say my piece. But... It's alright. You back down. And she said it so firmly I could no longer interrupt on my end. I retreated in dejection and turned to Tojo and Tominari's sides. Are Mimi and Kyoshiro possibly not on friendly terms? I don't know, but Kunitaka, you probably would, right? Well, the two of them aren't on bad terms, per se. It's more like they don't mix well at all. Like, an astonishing level of not mixing well. You know how the captain is, right? So, from Miharu's compassionate point of view, he appears rather cold. It seems they've known each other for a long time, but every time they see each other, it always ends up like this. I see. If you knew he was a vessel, Kyoshiro's wording might make more sense, but they probably didn't explain that to Mimi. But their antagonistic atmosphere was broken by an unexpected person. Hey, don't we have to practice for the tea ceremony? Huh? You came here today to teach her the tea ceremony, right? He wasn't trying to stop their fight, nor was he scolding the two. As soon as they heard the innocent question, both Mimi and Kyoshiro turned around as if they had realized something. Yeah, that's right. It is the time for this. Let's hurry and start before it gets too late. I understand. You may be busy. Well, but we're counting on you. It's for her sake. Leave it to me. Yoshiro lowered his head again, and Mimi replied with a bright smile. Color her threads were completely back to normal. They may fight, but they don't resent each other. I'm glad their relationship isn't as bad as I thought. After that, my studies proceeded surprisingly smoothly. I learned enough to enjoy an open-air tea ceremony without any trouble, and I could even understand why it was fun. And then, on the day of the open-air tea ceremony, after I made myself look presentable, Tominari and the others took me out to Samurai Town. Now that I think about it, this might be the first time I've properly looked at Samurai Town in the daytime. Oh, her kimono's so pretty! Not to mention the fact that when I came here the first time, I just walked right through it. But my impression of Samurai Town had barely changed from the first time I saw it. No matter where I looked, no one was walking around. At most, I would occasionally see samurai standing guard or servants walking around. Of course, every one of them were wearing proper attire. Do I stand out? What do you mean? Do I really look like I come from a samurai family? I feel kind of nervous. Tominari blinked at me with a blank expression and proceeded to observe me. You're wearing a high-end kimono and you have a beautiful walk, so I think it's fine. Really? Is it really alright? Yeah, I see no problem. It seemed Tominari was being genuine rather than being polite. Even so, this would be my first job for the Oniwaban. Couldn't help but feel restless. It's alright. Like I said, just do what we taught you and it'll be no problem. Got it? You remember what Tominari said about the basics of the tea ceremony? As long as you don't forget to show appreciation for everybody and everything, it's fine? Good, you remember. Just follow that one rule and the wives will definitely accept you.
Even if there are parts you're uncertain of, we'll figure something out. All you need to do is keep your head high. Right, Tominari? Yeah, leave it to us. Tominari wholeheartedly agreed with Tojo. I had butterflies in my stomach, but those words helped calm them down to a point where it was like they'd never even existed.
Thank you so much. I'll do my best.
Right, that's more like it. Let's do our best together. With my nervousness alleviated, we began walking with more confidence. Now, I'll be honest, I don't remember Chi's voice. Because this being the first route, I barely remember things. We proceeded while greeting passersby and finally arrived at our destination, a Daimo mansion. While the Oniwaban base was amazing in its own right, the Tanba mansion was far more than that. In front of the house, a handful of women had gathered. They likely had received the same invitation. Hello there. Oh gosh, I don't even know how the ladies talked either.
My,
I'm gonna start laughing. Okay.
if it isn't Tojo, I see the two of you were invited here today as well.
I hate when they laugh like that. This will be I'm so giggly.
This will be a fun party.
I can't.
Sorry. This will be a fun party. Beautiful gentlemen never fail to be a feast for the eyes.
You're too kind. Being around gorgeous ladies always makes my heart skip a beat. She's such a liar.
My oh my, you flatterer. Lord Takamura, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me. Though Tominari didn't say much, he was making sure to give proper greetings so he didn't stand out.
Amazing. Everyone looks so otherworldly.
Considering they were invited to the Tanba house, everyone here must be the wives of fairly high-ranking daimos. They all wore kimono that looked really expensive, and their hair was beautifully tied up. Of course, their makeup was perfect, too. From their very appearance, they were completely different from the innkeepers I saw in Castletown.
By the way, who is that behind you?
Sorry, why did I choose that voice?
Ah, right. I have to say my greetings, too.
Not the wise focused their gazes on me, I finally came back to myself.
My name is Susanoo. I'm a member of the Takamura branch family, and for extenuating reasons, I've moved here. Because I come from the countryside, I might have many inadequacies, but I'm pleased to make your acquaintance.
When I summoned up my courage and greeted them, the wives looked at me with serious expressions. It was only a matter of a few seconds. Nevertheless, my heart skipped a beat at their assessing gazes, but...
How adorable! We're also pleased to make your acquaintance. There's nothing wrong with coming from the countryside, dear. I'm also from Mutsu.
The wives smiled elegantly and welcomed me. The threads at their neck displayed the same kindness as in their words, so it didn't seem like simple social pleasantries.
They're completely different from what I imagined. I'm glad they seem to be nice people.
It seems like I'll be able to manage work as an Oniwaban in Samurai Town. I breathed a sigh of relief at the thought. It was at that moment.
Rain?
A gentle pitter-patter. I looked up at the cold I felt against my skin to see fat droplets of rain falling from the sky. The sky was covered in thick clouds that were hardly there when we arrived.
How horrid! Our kimonos will get wet. It'll probably be best if we move inside. Come along, everyone.
Susanoo, let's go.
Yeah.
While protected by Tominari, I hurriedly evacuated to the foyer. All the while, the rain continued pouring heavier and heavier. Puddles of water were already forming on the ground.
And the looks of it, the rain doesn't seem like it'll stop anytime soon. If so, it might be difficult holding a ceremony today. Just when such a charming maiden has joined us.
From the way it's going, it's pretty clear that we can't have a tea party outside. Could it possibly be canceled?
Oh my, everyone's already arrived. Apologies for the late greeting.
At that moment, a sophisticated-looking woman peeked out from the inside of the mansion. Gee, thanks for inviting us Thank you very much for inviting us on this occasion.
No, no, the pleasure's all. Oh, so it's raining. Thank you all very much for coming all this way in such poor weather. She's the lady of the Tamba family, Chi.
She seemed slightly older than the two wives who were invited. Yet her comparative maturity seemed to lend her a calmer demeanor and manner of speech. She seemed quite refined. Her threads are a constant bright yellow, though. She doesn't seem like she's nervous, which means she's on guard.
In any case, the rain sure is troublesome. What should we do about the tea party? I suppose it's canceled. If this were ordinary circumstances, we would part ways here, but we have a new guest today, so why don't we have a tea party inside the mansion? What? Oh my, that's a splendid idea. I was hoping I could have a nice long chat with her. How wonderfully exciting. What should I do? I haven't studied for that. I barely know anything about normal tea parties. Please tell me that this is a joke. Even as I was panicking and turned my gaze to Tojo and Tominari, however, the two of them shook their heads as if they'd given up all hope. It's my only choice here to accept my fate. You're Suzu, yes. I apologize for the sudden change of plans, but I look forward to getting to know you. Yes, I look forward to it as well.
I could do nothing but tense up my face at the unexpected start of a full-blown tea party. While the rain continued to pour outside, we were guided to the tea room. It seemed the tea party would be held in the great room this time. I remember how Tominari taught me to walk the other day, and I was able to sit on the tatami without incident. Instantly, we lined up behind the wives. Tojo, me, then Tominari, in that order. I'm sure the two purposely sandwiched me like that so it would be easier for me to imitate them. Did she go back to make preparations?
Apparently so. The type of tea party changed so suddenly that it seems like she has a lot to prepare. Despite that, aren't the preparations for this room just perfect? There's a wall scroll and flowers.
She's right. As I followed the wives' gazes, I noticed a beautiful wall scroll and flowers decorating the alcove. Maybe, even if it didn't rain, she was intending to hold the tea ceremony over here? Well, could it be because Suzuno suddenly decided to participate? But was she always this kind of person? I can only guess that that's the case in this situation. Could it be I'm being tested? My body unconsciously stiffened at the wives' whispered conversation. Is that why the color in Chi's threads are constant yellow? I could just be overthinking it, but if that's the case, then she might judge me harshly too. If I fail here, I might hold back everyone in the Oni Wannaban. I was already nervous from having my debut, but I never even considered the possibility of an event like this. As I sat, my hands that I had placed on my legs trembled slightly from fear. It's okay. In a voice so quiet that only I could hear him, Tominari gently spoke to me. And I raised my face in surprise. He had his usual kind-hearted smile.
Tominari.
And from the opposite side, Tojo lightly poked at my knee.
Tojo?
Don't worry, like I said earlier, even if you mess up, we'll do something about it. Hearing those words, my heart filled with warmth.
That's right, I'm no longer alone.
If I was all alone, then I might have been discouraged, but now I have the two of them with me. I came all this way, and all that's left is to get through the main event.
I apologize for the wait. I finally assembled all the utensils.
Just as I affirmed my resolve, Chi came in from behind the door.
If everything is settled, let's start immediately.
I like that beautiful music. Finally, the tea ceremony had started. As Chi proceeded with preparations, the wives turned their gazes to the alcove.
The wall scroll you chose this time is a rather interesting one. Actually, it's one I chained rather recently. When I look upon it, I feel my heart settle down.
They say that there can be many interpretations of an inso.
Inso?
I followed their gazes and looked at the alcove. It was decorated with a wall scroll that had a large circle drawn on it. It's just a circle, right? I feel like me and Susanoo feel the same on this one. It's a circle.
Why is it just a circle? If it was an idiom, I could at least guess what it meant from the vibes of the kanji writing.
Susanoo, what do you think about that inso? That's right, I want to hear a young person's opinion.
What? That's... Don't worry, just say exactly what you think.
Is this really supposed to be this casual? Then... It's cute. I tried answering entirely based on instinct, and the wives once again stared closely at me with serious expressions.
I messed up.
What a novel way of thinking. How wonderful.
Huh?
It's true, the inso is a mirror that reflects your inner heart. Cute is a valid answer. It shows the pureness of your heart. I think that's a marvelous interpretation.
I don't really get it, but it seems I got it right.
See, I told you so.
Yes, thank you, Tominari.
Now then, it's about time that we distribute the snacks and the tea.
It's finally time.
It's all good. Just copy what I do here. On the other hand, Tominari will do something completely different. So don't use that as a reference.
I understand. First, eat the tea snacks that get passed to me. After I pass the plate, drink the tea. Yeah, not to toot my own horn, but I think I did well. Then...
Gee, you're absent-minded. Is something wrong? Is there something you're concerned with outside?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I was wondering if the rain had stopped yet.
Hey, no way. She wasn't watching?
Susanoo, more importantly, I heard you were from the Takamura's branch family. Where are you from?
She's gonna bring that up now? What should I do? My head's a mess. From the mountains.
I apologize. She seems to be nervous. She was born in Echigo. I don't even... What? It's cold over there, isn't it? My, so you're born in the northern provinces. I'm from Mutsu as well, so I can relate. Oh.
Thanks to the two of them, we managed to cover it up.
After repeated similar interactions, the wives began looking at me with much warmer smiles. Susanoo, how should I put this? You're lovely. All your efforts make you seem very youthful. Your parents must have taught you very well. I can't. So true, to think that I'd be introduced to such a wonderful young lady. I'm so glad to have held this tea party today. As if agreeing with the other wives, she also nodded with a smile on her face. It felt like I was on a tightrope throughout the entire conversation. It seems that I appeared like a lady from a proper house. I can't let my guard down here, though. Chi's threads are still yellow. Is she still wary of me? When I looked at Chi to check on her, she still smiled at me brightly. Susanoo, it seems you understand the importance of appreciation, which is at the heart of the tea ceremony. Your efforts to respond to my hospitality are being communicated very clearly. It would be great if she really thought that. To tell you the truth, I invited a girl around your age once, but she had a rather horrible attitude. Ah, the girl from that one time. I should have described it. She was surprising in a very different way. She didn't even sit in Kiza before standing up. Susanoo, do you know what Kiza is?
Huh?
My mind blanked for a moment at the sudden question that was thrown my way. For now, we're going with, I don't know. To get the Kunitaka flowers. I feel like I was taught Kiza just the other day. Something about how you should do it before opening a door. I can't really remember the details. Unless you're honestly here. I apologize. What exactly is Kiza?
My, you don't know of it. Kies is a type of sitting method. It's used as a resting posture in martial arts. I believe you were doing it naturally when you sat on the tatami, but... Ah, so that's what Kisa is. I apologize for my lack of education. It's an unfamiliar term for sure. It's not surprising that you don't know it. That's true. Actually, I'm glad you were honest about not knowing it. Yes, it's good that you're candid. Thank you. I'm not quite sure why, but it seems I made a good impression. Cheese thread shifted from weariness to affection as well. Turned out for the best, I guess. While confused, I looked to the side to see Tojo smiling happily. Nice job. You firmly won the wives over. After hearing his whispered words, I felt a little proud of myself. I need to drink some of my drink. Oh, excuse me. At the end of that conversation, it was about time for the tea party to come to a close. Susanoo, let's continue to be friends. I'll invite you to a tea next time. An open-air tea ceremony would be fun too, but maybe we should go all out and have a full-course tea ceremony. Yes, on that occasion, I'll be glad to visit you. I'm so glad everyone turned out to be nice. I have the Oniwaban. These are the first people I've met since I came to Edo. So it'd be nice if I could continue being friendly with them. Speaking of, whereabouts do you live? The Takamura mansion? No, actually I live in a place separate from him. I can consider the Oniwaban base to be my home, right? What would the address be? It's just past Nagahara Cho. It's quite close to Chiyoda Castle. Tomonari swiftly answered in my stead. Thank you, Tomonari. Then you live quite far into the city center. I guess you'd be safe then. What do you mean by safe? And then Tanba's wife looked around as if a little uncertain. To tell the truth, I saw a man who looked like a ronin sneak into Samurai Town this morning. That's just like a ninja, I guess. He kept looking around like he was searching for something, but he ran away as soon as he noticed me. Like, specifically a ronin's, like a ninja or samurai type person that is seeking revenge to recover their honor. It doesn't have to make sense. Yet again, it's not important. My, something like that's happened. That's terrifying. Everyone, please be careful as well. Make sure you do not walk outside when you're all alone. Yes, thank you for telling us. Could it be that? Gee, when you invited us into your house, it wasn't just because of the rain, was it? Huh? It'd be dangerous to have tea outside while there's a suspicious person walking around, right? So you were trying to protect us. Yes, well, that's correct. I see, so cheese threads are always yellow because she was wary of the ronin. That's why she was perfectly prepared for an indoor tea ceremony. Oh my, in that case, you should have just said so from the start. I'm sorry, I was worried it might surprise everyone if I said something like that out of the blue. Gee, may I ask you a question? How did you know the man was a ronin? It was because he was an acquaintance. I met him through my husband when the man was still working in Edo. It seemed like he pulled a moonlight flit soon after. I see. By the way, where did you see him? Near the entrance to Samurai Town. It felt like he was watching and hiding from within someone else's property. I understand. It must have been nerve-wracking for you just having someone like that running around. I'll be sure to let the city commissioner know. Yes, thank you.
a suspicious person sneaking into a town that, as a rule, forbids any outsiders from entering. This information, which could have foreshadowed some future incident, left me feeling rather restless. It is foreshadowing. And then, after a night, this is probably where Chi saw the Ronin, right? Yeah, I think so. Yesterday, after we returned to base, our future directives were decided. A samurai town team would investigate the Ronin that Chi witnessed. While it hadn't escalated into an incident yet, ignoring it would only fuel the residents' anxiety. In other words, it would create negative emotions that would lead to the birth of new Blightfall. That's the reason why I was now standing at the entrance to Samurai Town with Tominari. Incidentally, we had Tojo patrol around as usual. There's no guarantee that the Ronin would sneak in from here, and above all, there was the possibility that he had already infiltrated the district. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, Tominari, thank you for yesterday. What do you mean? During the tea party, you helped me out a bunch of times, remember? We managed to finish it without any big mess-ups, all thanks to you and Tojo. We didn't do anything. Sure, there was some close calls, but the reason they accepted you was because you worked hard. They praised you too, right? So even if we didn't help you, I don't think the end result would have been different. I can read. Is that so? Definitely. So have some faith in yourself. I couldn't help but get flustered in Tominari's overly frank compliment. I wasn't used to being praised. His words blindsided me. Oh yeah, I should be giving you a reward in situations like this. Huh? Why? Because you did your best yesterday. Plus, Chi gave us that information because you were there. So, what do you want me to do? Tominari stared at me. At first glance, he was expressionless. Still, I wasn't sure how to respond to his seemingly expecting gaze. I'm happy you feel that way, but I just did what I just did what felt was natural as an Oni weapon, so... You don't want a reward? No, I don't deserve one yet. In fact, this is only the beginning for me. Okay, can you hold out your hand? Like this? I held up my hand as I was told. Tominari shook his Inro case. With a clitter-clatter, he took something out. Suddenly, dozens of pure white and small, pointy granules appeared on the palm of my hand. Are these Kunpeto candies? Why is there Kunpeto in your Inro? So, Kunpeto is like crystallized sugar, and they're the little tiny clumps, I guess. You can, like, savor them in your mouth or just go ahead and crunch them beforehand before savoring them in your mouth. Some of them are flavored, different flavors. I just think that they're really sweet and they're really tiny. They're pretty good, though. I couldn't find a good container for it. Don't worry, I've put paper on the inside so they aren't dirty. I see. Wait, that's not the issue. It's that I didn't need a reward. It's not a reward, it's like my feelings or something. So, you'll accept them, right? His feelings or something. Tominari's feelings. Describing it like that made the Kunpeto seem like a unique treasure, something that was one of a kind. On top of that, it was Kunpeto taken from Tominari's Inro, which could be considered a part of Tominari himself. I couldn't do something as insensitive as to reject them. I understand. If it's your feelings, then I'll accept them without hesitation. Thank you for giving me something so wonderful. I'll be sure to savor them. Yeah, thank you too for accepting them. By the way, have you eaten these before? Nope, this is my first time eating them. I just lick them like normal candy. Unlike candy, you chew on them as soon as you put them in their mouth. The storekeeper said that the flavor is spread in your mouth and it'll taste even better. Honestly, that's one way to eat them. I feel like you could just kind of put them in your mouth like a hard candy, and it's just as effective. But that's just my take on it. I mean, like I said, I've had them before. They're pretty good. Yeah, that's interesting. Following Tominari's instructions, immediately placed one in my mouth and chewed it. This is not a good depiction of it. They're generally, like, different colors. They're just showing them as white here. Like, the bag I had was multicolored. There was pink and blue and white and yellow. Whatever. The compito split apart easier than I expected. It does kind of give an idea of how small they are, though, at least in this image. At the same time, a light, sweet aroma reached all the way to my nose. It let me enjoy not only the taste, but the smell as well. I didn't notice any smell with the ones I had. They just smelled like sugar to me. You're right, it's so yummy. This is the first time I've tried something like this. Do you like it? Yeah, But as I tried to say my thanks, I froze. Tominari was looking at me with a kind smile on his face. His affectionate gaze made me feel like my heart was going to stop. What's wrong? No, nothing's wrong. Thank you. Tominari is just so unconditionally sweet. It's hard not to feel nervous around him. This boy's going to give me a heart attack. But I was happy that Tominari would praise me like that. Is it awesome that he was recognizing my accomplishments? Tominari, I'm going to try even harder to help everyone. I'll participate in all the wives' meetings and gather lots of information. Good. Go get him. As I verbalized my determination, Tominari looked slightly puzzled, but still smiled gently at me. It was the same yesterday, but I'm able to do my best because everyone believes in me. I'm going to do the same for today's mission, too. However, we investigated the surrounding area, but couldn't find any trace of a Ronin. Yeah, he isn't here. Maybe he's already entered Samurai Town? And we have such a good view of everything here. You'd think that if there was a suspicious person, they'd really stand out. That's if he's walking on the streets. If he were to enter, say, the grounds of a mansion, we wouldn't be able to see him behind the walls. Oh, I see. Then we should be wary of the mansions, too, not just the roads. That's right. Now, if I think about it that way, wouldn't it be extremely hard to find who we're looking for? Huh? As at that moment, we ran right into an unfamiliar man. Man just happened to leap from the wall in order to enter the street. A person was using that method to move around instead of a gate. It was highly likely that he was thinking of doing something questionable. You! What are you doing over there? Are you with Ronin? Probably faster to catch you first, ask questions later. Yeah. Before Tominari's hand could reach him, the man escaped into the alleyway. He's fast. Susanoo, let's chase after him. Right. From then, Tominari and I ran at full speed through Samurai Town in pursuit of the man. Fortunately, we were running at around the same speed, but the roads were a complicated maze of splits and turns, and no matter how long we ran, we couldn't catch up. Even as we tried to circle around in order to cut him off, he would escape down another path. Tominari, if this goes on... It's alright for now. Can you keep on chasing him like you're doing now? Alright. After giving that order, Tominari turned at the next crossroad. Is he planning on going around from that way? But there's still one more path, and the man escapes down that way. I don't think we'll be able to catch him from both sides. I caught up. I was thinking that Tominari jumped out from the side streets as predicted. As if I'll let you touch me. Then, of course, the man escaped towards the last remaining street. I knew it wouldn't work. If only there was one more person. And just as I was about to give up. What are you guys doing? To my surprise, Tojo suddenly appeared in the one-way street. On top of that, he was in a position where the man would definitely run into him if he kept going. Whoa. At the appearance of a new foe, the man stopped and looked around. There were walls standing high on the left and right. There's no place for him to run. Tominari were closing in from the remaining street. In other words, we had managed to trap him. Kunitaka, catch him. He's probably the rumored Ronin. Got it. Leave it to me. Boink. And so, with Tojo's timely appearance, the man was easily captured. Of course, we confiscated the sword and wakizashi at his waist to prevent any further resistance.
Tojo, what a coincidence. You were walking there just as we needed help, right, Tominari?
It wasn't a coincidence. I knew that Kunitaka would be walking through here around this time.
So you knew that in the start?
Yep. When we normally patrol together, our paths and timing are always the same. Judging by the position of the sun and the shadows of the trees, I knew without a doubt that Kunitaka would be here.
A vessel's memory is amazing.
If you knew that, you should have been able to lead him so you could capture yourself. Why did you go out of your way to make me do it? I thought that would be faster. You little kid, you at least try to do some work by yourself. Oh, look, there's a butterfly. Hey, are you even listening to me?
Despite how he acts, Tominari really does count on Tojo. If that wasn't the case, I don't think he would have come up with such a strategy.
After the usual exchange, we once again turned to the man. So, you're the Ronin in question. What's your name? As if I tell you my name, chasing me down like that out of nowhere. And where's your proof that I'm a Ronin? I was just trying to climb up the walls a little. Come on, this place suspicious. I'll look it up in the Samurai Dictionary. Just hurry up and tell me where you work. We'll see if you're a Ronin or not. Ugh. Tojo's line of questioning easily closed off the man's rebuttal. He wasn't in the Samurai Directory and was carrying a sword. The only possibility was that he was a Ronin. Or you've been wandering around Samurai Town since yesterday. Just what's your goal? So you don't plan on talking? Well, that's fine. We still have plenty of ways to get you to talk. Tojo placed a hand on the sword he had strapped to his waist. The man obviously knew what that action meant. His face immediately turned pale. Yeah, I understand. I'll talk. And what a disappointment. I don't want to die yet. After he muttered to himself in terror, the man let out a deep, long sigh. As you've guessed, I'm a Ronin. I'm here looking for my friends. Friends, like friends from work, or... Right now, a certain person is gathering manpower. Oh, gosh. In order to make a new Daimo family. What is going on with my eye? Most of them are Ronin like me, so I thought that there were other people in a similar situation I could invite them. Gathering Ronin is a serious crime. Don't be surprised if the mastermind winds up getting the Gokumon death penalty. So who is it? This one I gotta look up. What? Okay, so they cut their head off. Got it. Lord Yoshimune is an illegitimate child. If only. What? Oh. Huh? Lord Yoshimune's... We were rendered speechless by the unexpected confession. An illegitimate child, so a secret child, right? Which means Lord Yoshimune had a child in secret? If that's true, then that could cause some huge trouble, right? He is despairing of the current state of the world. He promised that he would make a better nation when he becomes the next shogun. He promised that the government would no longer make a victim of people like us. Damn, why must my plans be thwarted here? And then the Ronin Lord just had tears gathering in his eyes. Tojo and Tominari continued calmly observing the man's state. I understand what you're saying, and by the way, are those so-called friends of yours still gathering? Now, of course. If that wasn't the case, I wouldn't come to a place like this. More important, what are you planning to do with me? Are you going to hand me into the magistrate's office like this? Now, calm down. We're not going to do that. Then what are you going to do? You're going to let me join you. Huh? What? Just as Oroda was taken aback, I couldn't hold back my audible confusion. Let him join them? I must have misheard that. There's no way Tojo would say something like, What do you mean by that? I was touched by what you said. There's someone who thinks so much about the future of this nation that I'd like to meet them. I'm sorry about earlier. I'll loosen the ropes and give you back your sword. So let me join your cause. Are you serious? During that much, I was finally able to accept reality before me. Tojo was serious. He was seriously trying to leave the Oniwabon. What are you saying, Tojo? If you do that... Sorry, Susanoo. I'm just so tired. I've been fighting for the shogunate ever since I was born. Fighting the same fight over and over again. I've given up. But if the top brass change, maybe things might be a little different. So I want to gamble everything on Lord Yoshimune's illegitimate child. I've already made up my mind.
No way. What in the world? Could it be that the seal on Tojo's heart broke? That wasn't the case, then he wouldn't think of doing something like this, right? The rest of the Oniwabon hear about this, and Tojo might get eliminated. Tominari, we have to stop Tojo. If this goes on, then Tojo's...
There's no need for that.
Why? You've been working together with Tojo this whole time, haven't you? Isn't he your precious friend?
In contrast to how I was losing my calm, Tominari quietly stared into my eyes. The melancholic expression held not only sorrow, but seemed to hold a certain sense of determination.
I wonder why. I have a bad feeling. I feel like I've just seen something like this.
I feel the same way as Kunitaka, so I'm also going to rebel.
No way. Even Tominari?
You there, Mr. Ronin. Sorry for suddenly chasing after you. But my name's not Ronin. I don't know your name, but my feelings are genuine. Can I also join you? Though motionlessly, Tominari stated his own intentions. Though I couldn't see his threads, his serious expression left me speechless. Seeing the same for the Ronin as well. Alright, see, so you guys are also in a complicated situation, huh? Alright, if that's the case, then I'll let you join me. Welcome the coming, as they say. Just happens that there's a meeting happening right now. Follow me, you guys. Right, thank you. Susanoo, come with us.
What? Huh? I'm going to?
That's right, so come on, hurry.
What's going on?
I didn't know what was going on, but I couldn't leave the two alone like this. In the end, though still confused, I followed after everyone. While we were moving, I desperately continued talking to the two. You've lost yourselves. Let's go back to Edo for a moment. No matter how much I talked to them, Tominari and Tojo never reacted. This feeling, did they get their hearts back? I didn't ask what happened when a vessel's heart returned to them, so I don't know the details, but... In any case, I have to talk to them a little more and try to confirm it. As I organized my thoughts, we set foot in a clearing deep in the mountainside. Waiting there was a large group of men. Most of them appeared to be Ronin and had swords strapped to their waists. Though it was middle of the day, everyone was sitting on the ground drinking alcohol and causing a ruckus. Uncouth, cackling laughter echoed, and the burning odor of alcohol wafted through the air. To think that there was a place like this near Edo. It was different from the entertainment district. The meeting was lawless in the truest meaning of the word, and I felt a clear sense of fear. This is our hiding spot. Looks pretty comfortable to me. It gets nice sunlight, too. I think it's great.
Are they seriously saying that?
I like you guys. I'll give you two the position of junior elder. Among the rabble, I could hear a high-pitched voice that didn't quite fit in with the rest of the crowd. That's when I looked in the direction to check who it was. A young man who was sitting cross-legged amidst the ruffians. Lord Tenchibo, what about Tenichibo? I can't even say this name. Tenichibo? I keep calling him Tenchibo. I did it when I was reading it by myself, too. What about me? What would I be? You look pretty smart, so how about finance commissioner? No, I'm honored. Lord Tenichibo, please give me a role as well. Me too. Hey, you're all so impatient. No need to fret. I'll come up with something for everyone. The odd atmosphere and people's vulgar demeanor was akin to a gang of mountain bandits. Who's that guy? Hey, watch your tongue. That person over there is Lord Yoshimune's illegitimate son, Lord Kaigo Tenichibo. You know what? I don't... These names... So that's... At the Ronin's words, the two of them began observing the youth from afar. Tinichibo was a young man who wore the robes of a training monk. He appeared to be around my age. His face and way of speaking, unlike the Ronin around him, gave him a slightly more youthful impression. Now that I think about it, his face does seem to resemble Lord Yoshimune's. Are they really similar? Hey, how come he's dressed like a Yamabushi monk? What's a Yamabushi monk anyway? Just a monk that goes through training in the mountains. Yeah, that don't tell me nothing. That's because he is a Yamabushi monk. I heard he entered monkhood after his mother passed a few years ago. At his age? Well, that's not too rare in this day and age. I'm sure he's had a rough time. Alright, now's a good time as any to nab ourselves some jobs. Yeah, anything's fine with me. Huh? Wait just a second. Hurriedly stopped the two who are about to confidently charge into the group of Ronin. What? If we don't go now, we're gonna be late to the party. That's true, but... This is my last chance to convince them. If it's now, then I can still make it. While watching out for any suspicious Ronin eyes, quietly whispered into their ears. Are we really joining up with them? We'll end up betraying the shogunate at this rate. Betraying... That's right. Yes, I know working for the Oni Wuppan is hard, but this isn't the way to... Wait. What are you talking about? There's no way we'd actually join up with these people. This is an undercover investigation. What? But back when you said you were tired of work... He was acting in order to gain his trust. Our mission is to investigate the Ronin's goals, so we went along with his story. Sorry we couldn't explain everything properly. We just assumed acting wasn't really your forte and kept quiet. Oh, is that so? Sorry. No, it's fine. Thinking about it, it was obvious that the two of them would never betray the shogunate. The seals in their hearts had been broken, that I should have been able to see their threads. I started to feel extremely embarrassed. I wasn't able to piece everything together and just panicked. I jumped to conclusions, but thank goodness. If they really betrayed us, they would have been eliminated. That would have been awful, especially because we only just became friends. Lord Kagyo, I brought new compatriots. As that was happening, the Ronin approached Tinichibo. Ah, nice job. Now hurry up and introduce us. Yes, hey, you lot, come here quick. Alright, let's go. Yes. Responding to the call, we immediately ran towards the two of them. In an instant, all the Ronin there began focusing their attention on us. Lord Kagyo, these are the people who wish to become our new companions. Their names are, I'm Kunitaka Tojo. Nice to meet you. Tominari Takamura. Kunitaka and Tominari, I see. I have to say, you two sure are dressed to the nines. You aren't really Ronin, are you? Well, Ronin, technically speaking, we only just broke away from the government, so it's not surprising we come off that way. Why did you leave? Let's just say we have a few choice thoughts about the way Shogunate does things. Just because we get paid doesn't mean everything's fine. Well, it's a common story. And for the looks of it, you're pretty high standing, right? Wouldn't it be faster to just take matters in your own hands? Teishiba scratched the tip of his nose. It seemed like he barely paid any mind to their stories. He's suspecting us. His threads are still yellow from weariness. He came off as optimistic on the outside. He was surprisingly critical in his thought process. Seemed Tojo and Tominari realized this as well. The two exchanged looks, as if confirming something with one another. I don't blame you for being cautious, especially two guys like us appeared out of nowhere, but there's a good reason for this. Lord Kagyo, please lend them an ear. It's a pretty miserable story. But Kagyo furrowed his brows, shaking his head. Nah, I'm good. I'm a dude who values instinct. Anyway, hurry up and chase those guys out, will ya? You don't need to kill them. They're kind of giving off some bad vibes. Lord Kagyo? To think that he wouldn't even hear us out. Tojo and Tominari's plan must have been to give an explanation to Tenichibo here and convince him. But if he wouldn't let us even give the explanation, then there was nothing else we could do. What should we do in times like this? That's something I can do. Since I was here, I wanted to help in any way possible. Over and over, I desperately tried to think of a plan in my head, and then... Hold on a second, who are you? And then Tenichibo stared at me with shock. Seemed that he hadn't noticed my presence the entire time until now. Now I think about it, I was the only one who didn't greet him. I can probably buy some time by giving a proper self-introduction. I apologize for late introduction. I'm a member of the Takamura branch family. My name is Susanoo. Strangely, Tenichibo gave absolutely no reaction to my greeting. In fact, he was simply staring at my face as if in a trance. He's not replying? There's no way he couldn't have heard me, right? The color of his threads. Cute. That was when the threads changed from yellow to a soft pink. Tenichibo's whispered word echoed in the silent space. Huh? What? I apologize, can you say that again? Oh, come on! I said you're cute! You were like straight up exactly the type of girl I like! Lord Kaiga? Oh! I didn't mishear him. The thread's color had changed into one that represented affection. So I thought it might be the case, but I never could have predicted that I would be told something like that to my face. How should I respond in times like this? Wait, what kind of affection is this in the first place? This is wild! You're like definitely the most striking girl I've ever met in my life. Hey, how's about you be my girl? I'll pay for everything. I'll take care of you. I'll even do the whole life of wife thing. What? This must have been a continuation of the game where he gave people roles. Suddenly put on the spot, I decided to... what am I supposed to do again? Yep, offer a condition. I agonized over it. I truly agonized over how to respond. Wait a minute, let's stay calm and think this through. It's this important moment that decides whether Tenichibo let us be his companions or not. If I accept this confession, chances are he'll let us join him. In that case, I should accept it for now as a member of the Oniwaban. But no matter what type of affection he has towards me, to say something so irresponsible. My mind was made up and voiced my ultimate decision. That depends. Nah? What do you mean? That depends. I'll accept my conditions. First off, you need to let us join you as your companions. That... You trying to bargain with me? Ugh, he's scary. I can't back down here. Come on, me. That's the idea. After I made my desperate declaration, Tenichibo fell silent with his eyes wide open. What should I do? I think I made him angry. I like this girl! Huh? Ah, you're just a cute face, but now you're showing the guts to strike a deal with me. That's hot! I want to make you my girl even more now. This dude's such a goober. Alright, that's cool. I'll let you guys join me. No way I can refuse a quest from the girl I love. Seriously, man. Thank you very much. Seeing the conversation had taken a positive turn. Instead of calming down, Tenichibo leaned forward even more. So what are your conditions for marrying me? What do I have to do for you to become my wife? Need money? Fame? How about sex? No, wait, love. Whatever you want. It's for you, babe. And that's... To be frank, I don't actually want him to fulfill any condition. In which case, it's a secret. You have to guess what I'm wishing for. Are you kidding me? I gotta start from there. Even Princess Kaguya wasn't that vague. That's a reference to... oh, a silly... myth folklore thing. Well, let's just call it here for today. What? You're still here? Can't you see I'm in the middle of something? Save it for later. No. You should play it slow and steady. Can't play it cool if you're being impatient, right? And besides, I hate to say it, but you have a long road ahead if you really want this girl to fall for you. Wouldn't it be better to think of a strategy? You're fine with it, I can give you some advice. I've known her for quite a while. I should be able to give some good suggestions. I see, makes sense.
What's going on? There's a lot of things I wanted to say, but in order to get through this, I had no choice but to stay silent. When Teishibo's attention was turned away, I pulled the corner of Tojo's kimono in order to get his attention. Thank you so much, Tojo. You helped me by changing the topic. I should be the one thanking you. Thanks to your quick thinking, the last end without a problem. Not this during yesterday's tea ceremony too, but it might actually be perfectly suited for the Oniwaban. Is that so? Yeah. Be proud of that. If you have the courage to improvise that much, you undoubtedly have talent. Suzuno, I'm glad you're here. I'll be counting on you again. Thank you very much. Tojo must have understood what was on my mind when I said what I did. Made me a little happy, and my lips couldn't help but curl into a smile. As the conversation went on for a little longer, though, it might have turned out ugly. How come? Look at Tominari's face. You'll understand. He really adores you. He's right. He looks very upset. I'll make sure to apologize later. With the conversation neatly wrapped up, Teishibo turned back to face everyone in a better mood. With that out of the way, let's have one more toast to our new brothers in arms. What the hell did you say to me? As if to shatter the peaceful atmosphere, a man's angry shout echoed through the air. Excuse me. When I looked in the direction of the shouting, I saw two irate Ronin glaring at each other. On the ground next to them was a smashed bottle, its contents slowly spreading. Shut up! You're on so close to my ears. You think I was dead? What, after that kind of insult, you bastard? Say that to my face one more time! Oh, just speaking the truth. You ain't cut out to be a finance commissioner. You ain't even use an abacus. You're going against Lord Kaio's wishes. The Ronin unsheathed their swords as if it was as easy as breathing. It seemed they were about to start a fight over the Lord's roleplay game. The atmosphere was tense around the Ronin, who looked like they were about ready to start slashing at each other. Is this okay? If we don't stop them now, something bad's bound to happen, right? Even when I tried to catch their attention, Tojo and Tominari simply watched over the situation with cool expressions. They didn't even look like they were going to move an inch. Hey, their swords are out. Shouldn't we stop them? Sorry, we can't right now. It spelled trouble for us. We did something stupid and they found out who we were. Let's just see where this goes. We came here only to investigate the Ronin. I have no intention of meddling in anyone else's affairs. That's true, but I couldn't protest against his overly cold opinion. For us, the mission was our #1 priority. Everything else would have to be ignored. We had no choice but to silently watch over the commotion. I understand the reasoning, but this is the difference between an amateur and an Oniwaban? Or perhaps the difference between a human and a vessel? Despite my complicated feelings, I could do nothing but watch the Ronin insult each other. However, shut up! Teishibo marched over towards them without hesitation, barging in between the Ronin. Though he was confronting a band of armed men, he showed absolutely no hint of fear. However, Teishibo was glaring at the two with a menacing gaze. Just non-stop. Yapping about the dumbest, most boring nonsense from the two of you. Literally, the worst. I hate it. Hey, you there. You remember our policy? No. Can't teach anything around here. It's zero tolerance. Remember that? After finishing what he said, Teishibo clenched one of his hands into a fist. Strangely, the moment they saw that, the group of Ronin took an almost exaggerated step back. Please, anything but that. Lord Kaio, I apologize. Let's just settle this one calmly. No way. I'm a man of my word. And then Teishibo, still clutching the palm of his hand, raised his arm high into the air. Familiar black threads were wrapped around his hand. Huh? Why are there threads in such a place? In that instant, the black threads burst, spreading. And from the distance, a giant blightfall appeared. And that is actually where we're going to
leave off. Because it has now been 2 hours. Alright. I'll upload this to YouTube tomorrow. No stream tomorrow, so I can spare my poor throat. Stream again Friday. Probably around the same time I would try for. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to try for another 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. EST. And we'll, I'd say the next 2 hours will probably get us, like, past the halfway point, maybe, in this route. At least that's my goal. That's what I'm going to aim for. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. And bye!